Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for another update on Kadena. So, oh boy, we just had some certain news coming out that the SEC is suing Binance and also suing CZ. I just covered this in a video that I posted on the channel if you do want to check that out. But what is happening right now, the markets are breaking down, Bitcoin is nuking, and KDA is down 13% on the daily time frame. Thanks to CZ, we just came down and hit the stop loss. So it's quite a lot to talk about today. Let's dive right into the macro and what I am expecting for these charts. So like we've been talking about for KDA, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how 42 days worth of pain was a very likely course based on this stochastic RSI bottom fractal. Now, on the weekly time frame, looking at oscillators, which I won't cover in this video because I want to make it clear, quick, and concise, I'm not seeing any signs right now that now is the time to pivot short-term bullish. I am still seeing that, in general, even daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, weekly time frame, there's still room to move down. And because of this, I'm still sticking with my 42 days worth of pain, meaning we've got about another 2 weeks worth of pain for KDA to come into these markets. Now, if we're looking at price targets in the immediate short term, this level right here, 54 cent, the head and shoulders price target is screaming at me, and we are coming right down to this huge cluster of liquidity in the market at 50 cent. This is a huge volume profile. The next level to the downside after there is 32 cent. Now, while I'm not currently predicting 32 cent, I have said before, I don't believe 50 cent is the bear market bottom for KDA. We said something like this. We said potentially will come down, bounce on one of these volume profiles and pivot short-term bullish. This is still my outlook, but I just wanted to highlight, while we are rushing down to this level, if you are a bull, you would really want to see 50 cent hold, because underneath 50 cent, there's a big cluster of liquidity here. And there's also a rather significant trend line, which was previous resistance, flipped as support, held as support, flipped as resistance. This was resistance. We blasted back above it. This is a key trend line at 50 cent. It's also a psychological level, but I can't say anything else apart from what is underneath 50 cent. Underneath 50 cent is kind of just the absolute slow bleed out that happened, and there wasn't any real support and resistance that occurred within these zones. So beneath 50 cent, if you start pushing beneath 50 cent, you're going to see yourself moving down to 32 very quickly. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've been predicting 50 cent and then a bounce. Let's see what happens when we come down to 50 cent. Now, moving on from here, I do just want to highlight in the higher time frames, once again, there is still more room to move down. We pointed this out in our previous video. We talked about the fact how every single time a low is formed on Kadena and you break through the floorboards, you have 48% drops, you have 69% drops, you've got 41% drops. And in our video, I believe it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, 2 days ago, we talked about the fact that we've got lots more room to move to the downside because we've only broken down 8%. Now, you can see how this is aged. We've broken down, 26% or so, absolutely nuking from this level. So, in general, based on the average of these fractals, we're only down 26%. On average, these are down more than 40%. So I would be saying Kadena has more room to rush to the downside. Now, KDA BTC actually has almost hit one of our first macro price targets. We talked about the 2.618. In our last video, we were 22% away. As of, this wick down here, we were only about 7% away, and we're about 15% away in general as of right now from coming down and tagging this 2.618 Fibonacci. So I proceed to see that Bitcoin is going to be moving down to about 25 to 24,000 if we're looking at from where we are right now. A lot of my price targets line up around about 24,000. That is about a 6.7% drop. And if we do see a local bottom occur in Bitcoin and a bounce back up to resistance, at which point, if Bitcoin breaks down about 7% and the KDA BTC pair breaks down about 15%, in general, this could equate to about a further 22% drop to the downside for Kadena. When we're looking at this right now, this would take us down to, what do you know, exactly 50 cent. The price target that we've been talking about on this channel for a few months now. People were religiously laughing at us for about a month or so, and in the past month, since Kadena's been landsliding, it's been crickets. Very silent in the comment section. Everyone who laughed at us for predicting new lows has completely disappeared from the channel. I'm sure they'll be back after we predict a short-term bullish bounce at 50 cent, but nonetheless, this is really what I'm predicting for the markets. I see KDA coming down to about 54 cent, and then I see us coming down to 50 cent. I predict all of this to happen within the next 2 weeks based on all of these charts and Fractal's 42 days worth of pain, which we've previously talked about on the channel. So yeah, that's really what I'm seeing right now. And in terms of the KDA trade, wow, this was our take profit at 69 cents. Now, in hindsight, should we have put our take profit down much lower? Yes, in hindsight, a lot of things are very useful in hindsight. And hindsight is not something that we have. We have, however, come down and slaughtered our take profit. This is almost a 40% drop on a 5x leverage. So we've just made shy of a 3x return, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations if you did enter this trade. Now, what I told you based on why we were entering this previous trade and how we're going to be navigating these markets is we were shorting from a position of strength. I believe this was on here. This was on the weekly time frame. If we pull up the EMA ribbons, you can see we entered from a reversion to the mean on the weekly EMA ribbons. We entered this trade from a position of strength. And now to the flip side, we're coming down to some significant volume profiles, which would be a position of strength for the bulls. So, you know, would I be saying, hey, you know, we're just starting the breakdown, now is the time to short? No, we've been shorting since $1.12. Now we've just rocketed down to about 59 cents. I am on the sidelines right now. While I am still predicting lower price targets, we are now out of our trade. We've just made a 3x return, and at which point I find it very, very comfortable to just be sitting on the sidelines, waiting and predicting for this bounce, like we've been talking about on the channel. Whether it plays out in 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, we don't have a crystal ball. We just know that coming down to these massive, massive volume clusters, one of them is probably going to flip a support and cause a massive bounce. Is it going to be 50 cents? Is it going to be 31.5 cents? We'll keep you up to date on the channel. I'm personally thinking 50 cents. If we get more FUD come out, we'll have to reanalyze that price target. But as we come down to 50 cents, as we start to see signs of a bounce coming, you know, we would have wiped out pretty much all of our price targets at that point. I would be looking and waiting eagerly for a bullish sign of reversal on the stock, on the oscillators, on the momentum indicators, on Bitcoin, on the S&P 500, all these different things that amalgamate to my price predictions for Kadena. These are the type of things I'm looking for right now. I am not seeing that. So we are positioned on the sideline. We are out of the trade. And until the next trade, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you there. For today, that's all I've got. If you were in this trade with me and you have just made a 3x return on this, let me know in the comment section down below. If you appreciate that, if you enjoy the content, let me know by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button and become a member today. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.